In the time it takes to finish one stiff drink, me and my special guest Truman Forbes are going to talk about what gives him the right to talk about adulthood. We're going to swap some stories about growing up, and we're going to find out if one stiff drink makes you better at Indian poker. So pour yourself a stiff one and get ready for this episode of The Boondock Perspective.
Where class is optional.
It's yet another carefree Maine evening, and you're listening to The Boondock Perspective, where each week two individual perspectives collide, converse, laugh, and imbibe. If you tune in each week on iTunes, Libsyn, or YouTube, you might just learn something. Here with me this week is Truman Forbes, all-around good friend, original podcast buddy. We went into this together originally, and someone I'm hoping will be a podcast regular. I won't make you commit to it now.
We'll see how the contract looks, but okay.
Why don't you tell the people just like a little bit about yourself, just so people kind of know like what your background is and where you're from, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I was born and raised Bangor, Maine, which is podcast takes place the city right next door. So I've been local in the area for 24 years now. That's crazy. I'm getting old. But I would. Yeah. I went to school at New England School of Communications for video production, which is where this guy went.
Ethan also went to school at New England School of Communications for film production.
Yeah. So
video production. I don't know what it was. I think it's technically a communications degree. But
I know. I could never get it right. Yeah.
I don't care. It's on that wall.
I still don't even know what my degree says. Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. So, yeah, and I've been pretty much doing video production my whole life. Ever since I was a kid up till now. So I work here in the city in a production studio doing a video production. So. It seems to be the theme of your podcast is a lot of video guys.
It wasn't originally meant to be like all these video people coming on and talking video, but that's what it's turned into because that's the people I know. That's the people who I'm able to have an easier conversation with.
Yeah.
I think the ratio I have right now is like 1 to 3. Like every third podcast is film related, which is fine. It's who I am, and people will listen for that. But also, the other episodes are awesome anyway, so you should watch them all.
Yeah, they're all great, and I will say because I've seen a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen a little bit of episode 1. I didn't see all of it because usually what I do is when I watch podcasts, I'll listen to them at night to kind of like help me relax and go to sleep. So sometimes I'll fall asleep. But the second one you had with Casey,
the third one, episode.
That was the third.
That was episode 3.
What was the second one?
There's a second episode with boxer.
That's
Barry.
right. I need to go back and watch that one.
It was actually a really good one. It's pretty informative.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta check that one out.
We're recording this before they've released, but there's also, before you there's 9 episodes.
Yeah.
By the time this will release.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot more by the time this comes out. Exactly. When you see your face, you better be caught up. There's 9.
Oh, I will. I'm getting there. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so that's a little bit about me. That's what I've been doing.
I'm having a lot of fun with this. So
yeah.
In order for us to figure out whether or not alcohol makes you better at Indian poker, we need to do a control study.
I have no idea what Indian poker is.
You've never played Indian poker?
I've never played Indian poker.
Like ever in your life?
No, I didn't even think that was a thing. You said that, and I was just like, no.
We should stop calling it Indian poker, probably. Native American poker.
Okay, so it is Native American poker.
I've heard of that.
Okay, yeah, now I know what we're talking about.
Indian poker is when you take a card, you put it on your forehead, so you can't see your card, and then you guess whether or not like you just really what you'll do is you'll bet money like, oh, my card's higher than yours, on how much you're willing to bet that your card is higher than theirs, but you can't see your own card.
Okay, so it's like you gotta like kind of bluff, like you gotta play like a straight face to like.
Well, you can't see your card, so you can see their card.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm looking at their card like, oh, like pretending it's like a high card or whatever, and try to like get him to think that his card's like higher. Is that like a mind trick game?
While also trying to be confident that your card is higher. Than his.
Yeah. So is
or theirs.
All right, we're gonna have to give this a shot.
Yeah. So I
can't even like visualize.
I think what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to think of a good way to do this. Probably should have thought of that ahead of time. I'm gonna do 5 cards to you, right? Like this. Okay. Take the top card. Don't look at it. Is that 5? I just realized I forgot counting.
I got 4.
Okay, that should be 5. There you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Take 5. The top card.
Top card. Okay.
Stamp it on your forehead without looking at it, like this.
So, I gotta get it to stick.
Yeah. Is your card higher or lower than mine?
This is not gonna work. Hold on.
I'm very sweaty, so
we
this
go.
is naturally a
There
game
we
I'm
go.
great at. Oh no.
You might have to do the spit trick.
I might have to do this.
Okay, so
Can I just do this?
this is really funny.
Is your card higher or lower than mine? I guess this really just
I'm gonna
comes
say
down to higher.
mine's higher,
You're gonna say
just
yours
so
is
you guys
higher?
can see it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say mine's higher.
Okay, look at your card. So you lose 1.
I'm
Right?
disappointed.
Let's do the next one.
Okay.
All right, you
I'm
had
gonna
a
have to do
3,
this-
I had an 8.
You're gonna have to wash every
You lost
single
the
card
first
you
one.
have.
Well, I need a new deck of cards anyway.
Okay.
All right, are you higher or lower than mine? This is just a game of higher or lower at this
Higher.
point. Higher?
Yeah.
All right. You lose again.
Oh my god. 8s, man. It's killing me.
Is it another 8? Higher or lower?
I'm gonna say lower this time.
Lower?
Yes.
Depends. Okay, hold on. Don't look at it. Did you see it?
No.
Okay. I don't know if this is fair or not, but are aces 1 or 11?
I'm gonna say 1 or 11.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 1.
Okay. So that I kind of
Yeah.
gave that to you. Oh, wow. That could have gone either direction.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
I forgot which pile.
All right.
You
just
need to
look
give me a new. I just
no,
looked
it's fine.
at
We'll just do 4.
Okay.
Higher or lower?
I'm gonna say lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I guess
Okay.
we do need
We need to do
cards,
one
'cause
more.
We need to
Yeah.
break.
We gotta break the tie. Yeah. Here we go. It's
I'm
on.
gonna get a new card now. Higher or lower?
Ooh. Higher.
Probably wrong. Yeah, you got a 3 again.
Oh man.
So, right off the bat, you were 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Or 2 and 3. What are your losses? How's that
I'm
go?
two wins, 3 losses.
2 wins, 3 losses.
Yep.
So that's not great. So
No.
at the end of the podcast, we're gonna do that again, and we're gonna see whether or not you improved.
All right.
In the meantime,
My ballsiness is gonna go way up, so I think I'm gonna improve.
after that,
Cause like,
yeah.
that's a game you really just can't think about. You just gotta be
Yeah.
like, boom, and then usually like that's how I win at what's that game you play at the casino?
roulette.
Roulette. That's how I win at roulette. Is that like?
Have you ever won at roulette?
Yeah, actually, the first time I went to the casino, that's like the only game I play at the casino when I go. I don't go
I've
a whole
been
lot
with you.
anymore.
It was weird.
Yeah, it's
I
fun
had a really good
experience.
time, but I didn't. I won like $30. So
Yeah, and Eric, he won
he
like
came with us. Yeah.
he won like $90, didn't he? Or no, he didn't win.
Not that time.
I thought somebody won like $100.
So I won a lot of money, but I'd also spent a lot of money to get to that point. I'm pretty sure I
might have
won
been
like
you.
$90,
Yeah.
but I also spent like 60. So I
Yeah.
won. I won $30.
Okay. No, that's not a bad first time around.
That was good. It was a good first casino experience.
Yeah. See, you kind of need a really shitty first casino experience because I had the issue of where I went for the first time and I won like $400, and I was just like,
That'd be a problem.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm set
And
for life.
Exactly, and I think I ended up.
I'm really
like,
good at slots, guys.
Yeah, so I think like over the next couple of like I think like a month straight, I was just like every Friday and Saturday I was there, and I think I ended up ultimately losing like $500.
Yeah, at
and
the
then
end of the day.
like the itch was obviously gone, and I was just like done with that. So then I went ahead and bought like a really old car, and I've blown all my money in that, and that's been great too. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably a little more rewarding.
maybe,
Oh, no.
maybe. No, it's been great. It's been great, but it's like a 2-year-old. You know, it's just like you love the 2-year-old to death, but it's a 2-year-old, so you're just like, just fucking behave. So we're getting there. Yeah.
Speaking of gambling,
Yeah.
we're adults.
Yeah, we
It's
can
weird.
actually legally gamble.
Yeah, we can legally gamble.
It's weird.
That's
to think
weird. Legally buy cigarettes, legally drink, legally
Yeah.
gamble. I'm 24. Are you also 24?
I'm 24. I'm
Yeah.
coming up the age. It's in a couple months. I'm gonna be of like that age to like you can rent a car I guess now at any age, but 25 is like the recommended age.
Yeah.
And in some states it is like you have to be 25 to rent a car. I never really thought I was gonna get that far in life to 25.
I just thought I was going to die at 18.
I just thought like time was gonna like freeze for a little bit. And I'm like forever 21, you know. No, not the case.
Yeah.
Time
It's
went
just-
by that fast.
It's weird. I wanted you to come on the podcast a little bit because, A, you're one of my best friends, and I think you're the most qualified to talk about this with me because we have
Yep.
been on similar tracks of life, right? We've
Yep.
got same kind of careers, grew up kind of similar, you know.
in the Boondocks.
Yeah, grew up in the Boondocks. Different boonies, like
Different
different,
boonies.
different
Yeah.
boonies. We were
Yeah.
from different areas. I'm
My
from
boonies was
Jackman.
very unique.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, mine was we were an island school,
Mm-hmm.
but we were near no water, no ocean water, because we had so much trees around us that it took us like 80 miles to get anywhere. Just
you guys
minimum,
call that an island?
Minimum. So we were, by the government, we were called an island school.
Really?
Yeah, because we were so isolated.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was just like a
I didn't know
reverse
this was a
island.
thing.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was weird. So that was my boonies.
Yeah, those are some good boonies.
Yep.
Huh.
So the conversation really, to me, boils down to two things. When do you first start seeing yourself as... I'll say three things. When do you first start behaving as an adult? When do you first see yourself as an adult?
Are these questions for me?
No, these are just where I'd like to go with the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
So when do you first start behaving like an adult? When do you first start seeing yourself as an adult? And when do other people start seeing you as an adult?
No.
I think those questions they're all different numbers to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that the world, like legally, like by laws, it's in America, you can be tried as an adult when you turn 18, right?
Yeah.
Right off the bat. So that's when the world sees you as an adult. But when do like the people who know you see you as an adult? Because so many people are like, oh yeah, you're still a kid. And it's like, been 6 years. I got my own business. I bring in a salary. I just got a new car. It's like, these are things that I would personally qualify myself as an adult as. But also, I don't see myself as an adult still.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, and it that stems from like certain discussions I have with people around me and my parents, where it's just like they'll say something and I'll be like, wow, I definitely don't feel like an equal in this conversation. Like I don't feel like an adult at all. Like I was talking to my dad about actually like buying cars, and this is before like I really knew how to drive stick. So I was just like, oh, I think I might just get like another automatic car, just because back then I was just like, stick's gonna be so hard to learn and stuff. And he was just like, and this was like I was 22. He was just like, you know what? It's time to put your big boy pants on and fucking learn how to drive stick. And I'm just like, I'm not an adult. I just like immediately said that. I'm like, I feel like a 14-year-old in this conversation.
It's so
like,
funny how parents can do that.
Yeah.
There are still so many times in my life where I see myself as an adult in many situations. I end up talking to my parents, and my dad will say 3 words, and I'm just like, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I have no life experience.
Exactly.
When do I become you? Like, when did you get to where you are?
I know.
Like, I don't know. It's just, it's a whole weird thing to think about is like,
It is.
we're growing up, but we never stop growing up, but also there's a point where you're considered grown up. It's like, when the fuck is the line? The line's just this big ass snake going through the graph.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's
And it's so weird. I mean, because I don't know. I've grown up my whole life. I don't know if you've 100% felt this way, but when you grow up and you look up to your parents, mom and dad. I looked up to my dad a lot, and I was always like, man, I want to be this guy. I want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, I want to.
Dude, same.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be this guy. Like, he's got his shit together. Like, I looked at him, I'm like, this is an adult. Like, he did like U.S. like marine shipping and stuff like that, and he was like an engineer working on ships. He had this huge house, had all these like classic cars, and he was like 33. Like, my earliest memory of him was like him in his early 30s, like late 20s, and I was just like, I'm gonna be there by the time I'm that age, and I'm getting close to that, and I'm looking at myself like, I am so fucking far off from that right now. It's just crazy to think that like he was so young, but I looked at him as like this definitely older, more mature adult, and I'm almost to that stage, and I'm absolutely not like that. Yeah. Which I've come to accept. Yeah. But
same conversation, but different conversation. Mm-hmm. I'd like to have my father on the podcast to talk about this at some point. When do you become a man? Like, there's so many things in my life that, like, going out, buying 8 cords of wood, and then chopping all 8 cords of wood or cutting it with a chainsaw, and then splitting it, and then throwing it in the basement, and then going in the basement and putting it all away, and then all winter making sure that furnace is fueled and going down 15 times a day and putting wood in the fireplace so your wife doesn't have to, and like teaching your kids how to do it, and like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Pay someone to do it. I'm still in that mindset, and it's like, I'm at a point now that I think if I had a house, I would have no problem chopping firewood, but also like, might just get oil.
Yeah. No, I've definitely been in that exact same mindset.
How do you commit to? It's such a small thing,
yeah,
and it's so natural to him.
It's
and
funny
he grew up where he made it natural to me, but it's like, how do you commit to being such a man and just like no complaining, just do it. It's a fact of life. And
No, yeah, like
between family and kids and work, it's
exactly.
like, what a man.
Yeah, exactly. No, I remember, growing up, you're not allowed to complain and stuff like that. And I don't know, it sounds like your dad said this to you at some point. I can just feel it after describing this, like,
Was it dumbass?
the corners. That's one, definitely, yeah. But, I'm blanking on it now. Now that you just said dumbass, I'm like, that just, like,
just Brett
brought
Foreman
me back.
came in your head.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah. No, it's the line of, like, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, obviously.
It's
he
just
said that
like,
to me.
yeah, because my dad is just like, from day one, like, as soon as I learned how to process words, like, that's the first thing that my dad said to me, was just like, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And so I was, like, always in that mindset of, like, oh, I got to do this myself. And then as soon as I got, like, a job where I didn't have to do all the shit myself, I was just like, I'm just gonna pay someone else to do it. Like, I was just like, you're really screw chopping the 8 cords of wood. I'm like, I got somewhere else to be or something better to do. I'm just gonna pay someone for this. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I do start to feel like, well, is that making me less of a man? Just like not doing like the average chores, I guess you could say, or something like that. But fuck it, I'll pay someone to do it.
Yeah, it's just so, there was never a dish in my sink growing up, and now it's like I go 3 weeks without doing a dish. It's like, when do I hit that point of just coming home every day, washing the dishes the moment I walk in the door, making dinner, and then washing the dishes immediately after? It's like, I'm kind of almost there, to be completely honest with you. Like,
That's good. I'm glad you're making progress.
But it's like, when did it happen?
Yeah.
How many years does it take to just be fed up of not doing something or of living a certain way that you?
That's a great question. I really am interested to find that out, because I do run into that problem of, like, I'll come home, long day of work, and part of me is like, I should be responsible enough to wash the dishes. But instead, I go into bed and play Xbox, and it's just I want that moment of, like, I need to take on this responsibility, but it just hasn't happened yet, and I'm a little upset with myself. But
I'm doing better. So as
That's
I've
good.
gone, like, between like 18, you couldn't catch me dead doing anything. Like, give me money, and even then I might not do it. Like, I was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And then I move into college, and it's like, okay, life sucks. That's the fact of life. I'll do it, whatever. But I don't want to, and I'll procrastinate every step along the way.
Yeah.
And then I'm at a point now where, like, so recently my father went, within the last year, he had surgery. And we also had a big windstorm in actually the entire state of Maine, and it knocked over like 4 trees in our yard. Like, these trees that have been there since I was a kid, and been there since my brother and sister were kids. You know what I mean? And they blew over, and we went home, and he had surgery, and so to surprise him, me and my younger brother grabbed the chainsaw, went and chopped all the limbs down, chopped all the trees down, or all the logs down, put them under cover, bark up, to keep them dry. And we tried to make softwood firewood out of the trees. And then we piled all of the brush into one pile, and we're like, yeah, we'll do a bonfire. We tell him, we're excited. We're like, we manned up. We helped you. Yeah. Because we care about you. And also, like, I'm an adult, and I understand this is, again, it's a fact of life. I need to start doing chores and take responsibility and be a man every now and then. And he was mad.
Really?
The dude was mad.
What?
Because he's like, oh, we're going to try and sell those to the mill for money, you idiots.
Oh my God, that's while you're saying this in the back of my head, I'm like, I wonder if he pulled the red for a minute and was like, you dumbass. And he totally did.
There wasn't a day of my life where, like, I come home from school and he's just like, you guys aren't doing anything, you're bored, go move the firewood.
Yeah.
You'd like do something productive.
Yeah.
And it's like, it made us start pretending to be busy so we would avoid doing it. Yeah. But he'd always say that to us, to start doing something productive. And we finally did it, and it was wrong. It was like...
Oh, man. What a heartbreak. See, it's like, it's events like those where you're just like, oh, yeah, I forgot why I bothered.
It's like, oh, well, fuck me, right?
Exactly. It's just like, I'm just going to go back to not washing the fucking
But
dishes.
It's great, because it's like, even in that, there's a lesson. It's like, probably should have communicated with you, Dad. I'm sorry. That totally makes sense. Yeah. I didn't think about it.
No, it's just like, oh, we're
so there's a whole
thankless act.
Other section of having to be considerate of other people I have to learn.
Yeah. Happens.
It's just funny. Life can come up and twist on you so quick.
Yeah, it really can. Yeah. No, I had kind of a big moment. This was like a kind of a defining moment for me back when I was growing up. I say growing up. I was in college, this was my sophomore year of college, and I had a moment where it's just like, I wanted to take on more responsibility. I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to do a lot and like show that I was just like capable.
Mm-hmm.
And so, cause like it was just not it wasn't looking good for me. Like I was just kind of that stubborn, like lazy, like
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the bare minimum. So then I just kind of like had a moment where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna change this today. So I ended up getting hired through a company that it's like a college painting program,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really like a pyramid scheme.
Okay.
It's really what it is. So where it's these people go out and network in colleges and find broke college kids who they're like, do you want to like become a manager of a company? Get that managerial experience, make lots of money, have some great connections, and then if you make enough money for us, we get to like we send you out on like a cool cruise vacation. And I was like, oh, this seems like great. And so I was just like, I was thinking, I was just like, man, you know what? My parents are gonna be so proud of me that I became a manager of this painting business. Successfully made a lot of money, got to pay some college bills on my own, and so I signed up for it. And it was the worst. It was just like the worst experience because it's this, like I said, this pyramid scheme of like these managers sign you on to become painting managers for painting houses. So you hire a crew, you do all the work. So you find the jobs, you find the workers, and you work yourself. So you paint houses with, however many people you want to hire on. And then they take like 40% of however much you make per house. And then the other 60% for me, because I didn't do the greatest job of like making estimates. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to say it's going to be, you know,
4 cans. Or something.
yeah, 4 cans of paint. It's ultimately going to come down to this much hours of labor, and it's going to cost you like ultimately $10,000 to paint your entire house. And so I was doing that. But what I didn't realize, because they don't really come out and say this right off the bat, they have it hidden in the contract you sign, and there's just no warning until you find out, and you're already in the middle of it. You're like, well, it's too late now, so I'm just gonna have to do as much as I can. Where they take 40%, they don't really tell you right off the bat. So I was sending in my checks to go to my corporate account and stuff, and ultimately, by the end of the summer, it had gone so south. Like the customers were getting mad at me. All my painters quit because they weren't getting paid enough. And a couple painters were so broke and like scared of not having enough money that they came out and tried to like sue me. So like, I had to go through lawsuits and stuff about like, oh, he didn't have the right safety equipment on the job, so my safety was at risk, so he's got to pay these like OSHA fines and stuff like that. So I was going through all this hell, and I just started like my junior year of college as well. So I was in school, going to like deal with all these lawsuits, in debt, and like you don't get paid at all until like the end of the summer too. So I was just like,
Oh my
I had to get a second job to like manage all this stuff. So I was working 2 jobs doing this, and like throughout the whole time, I'm like, well, I hope my parents are proud of me for doing this. And so then by the end of it, after like going through, like I had to pay off so many like tabs. My workers like went into like these towns, like started tabs at these like
Yeah, the hardware stores.
hardware stores and stuff. And I didn't know they did that. And so they came back. They were like, you owe us like $600 for all this food, cigarettes, and hardware. And I'm just like, God damn. And so by the end of it, I was just like, well, when I get my check, I can pay all this stuff off. I'm looking, I believe I'm getting paid like $7,000. I get a check for after all this summer of working for $800, and I'm just like, wow, okay. And so it was such a learning experience. Like I had so many lows in that summer. Like it felt
a lot of life lessons.
It was a lot of life lessons that just really came up and just kind of really woke me up.
Just read the contract. Make sure you hire the employees.
Yeah,
read the contract.
Read the fine print. So it was a lot. It was a lot. Like I was really down, but I gotta say, getting back up from such a low, because there was a couple other things after that. Like I tried to get another job up here in Bangor. It didn't work out. My car got stolen. Like a lot of stuff just went downhill. It was the worst. But I've never like felt better coming back out of that. Like that's when I really found like
Dude, there's something
success.
really satisfying about just bouncing back.
Yeah. That's I think a little bit of like adulthood and like becoming an adult is bouncing back from that. Like
you didn't just move back in with your parents.
No. I went out and like got some jobs and stuff and just really, and I'm doing okay today. I'm here sitting fairly comfortable. But yeah, so I took a lot of those life lessons, like those really just hard-hitting life lessons, and it didn't get me down, and I was just like, I'm gonna learn from this. My childish self put me through all that, and as kind of an adult, I'm gonna figure out these situations, no help, and just kind of rise back up. And I did that, and so, part of me is just like, I'm feeling, responsible now, more responsible. Even though initially I wanted to be have this nice responsible title.
You wanted to be respectful or respected, and you went to responsible.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I guess that was like the biggest transformation for me, as going from a kid to an adult. So yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Dang. Well, I think we should probably do a sponsorship, and I am feeling generous, so I'm going to give the sponsorship to you.
I'm a big fan of this sponsorship, actually.
This is my favorite sponsorship.
Yeah. So do you want me to just say it?
Yeah. What are you doing? What is something that what are you up to that you'd like to plug? I'm sure there's something. You always have something.
Yeah, I'd like to plug Wicked Motor Network. Is that?
That works for me.
That work? All right, yeah.
It's excellent. I've plugged it before, so.
I saw that. I kind of forgot that you were gonna plug it in that episode, and then it was so funny because I was watching this, and a friend of mine was talking. He was like, "Oh yeah, the Wicked Motor Network looks great," and then you were like, "This episode's brought to you by Wicked Motor Network," and I'm like, "It's everywhere." It was a nice little moment for me. But yeah, this episode's sponsored by Wicked Motor Network, I guess. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of shooting. We're starting to kind of get into the next. By the time this episode's out, we're going to be in the next kind of phase of Wicked Motor Network, which is more documentary style shooting. So previous videos kind of were like highlight reels, montages of events that would occur throughout New England that people were hosting. But now we're finally getting kind of to where ultimately I wanted to be. It's been a process, but we're getting there, of storytelling about people and their, the relationship with their car, because it is kind of a special
There's a bond there.
Yeah, there really is. So and a lot of great stories. Like this, it's really originally where I got the idea to do this whole Wicked Motor page to begin with. Was I went to a car show out in Las Vegas, and there was a gentleman there with this beautiful restored Corvette, and we were talking to him. I was just talking to him about how he got it and all that stuff, and he just had such a great story. I forgot 90% of it now that I'm on camera, but it was just really, it moved me. I was like, wow, this I love these kind of stories, and it'd be cool. I'm a filmmaker, so it'd be cool to do that as kind of a hobby and then make it a job. So so we're now doing these kind of short stories on people in their cars. So it's cool. It's a growing channel. So check it out.
I'll put the link in the description so people can watch somewhere.
Yeah, sounds
whatever
good.
you're up to at that point.
Cool.
Cool. So we've kind of talked about. We haven't kind of talked about it. We've talked about it. Adulthood. Yeah. It's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Do you have a defining moment where you think and I'll go first so you can think about this a little bit, but do you have a defining moment of wow, I am grown up? Do you have a moment like that?
When I did my taxes. No.
For the first time on my own.
Yeah. No, I got a couple of those, I'm sure. I want to hear what you want to say.
So when I was a junior or senior in high school, I spent you choking it
I
up?
went down the wrong tube for a second, sorry.
I spent $4 or $5 grand, and it was time for me to buy a car. So my dad was like, "Hey, for your graduation present, I'm going to buy a car for you, but you're still going to invest that original $4 or $5 grand." He's like, "I'll just finish it." Right. So bought a Hyundai Sonata. It was great. That's not the moment I became an adult. It ended up not breaking down, but I had a lot of issues with the transmission. 2 years later, I was consistently having transmission issues. So he said, "How about this? I'll take the car. I'll just take it. And we have about $3,000 left, right? I'll give you, or excuse me, you give me the car, and I'll buy you a car. Like, it's not going to be amazing. It's going to be just something to get you by. And then you'll pay me back monthly. So we did that. So then I drove to Vermont, or to New Hampshire, and I bought this 2001 Honda Civic. It was great. It had 50,000 miles on it, but it looked like a piece of shit. I didn't fit in the thing. Like, it was really hard for me to enjoy. Car holds a special place in my heart, but at the same time, I was like, when I can get rid of this, I should get rid of it. Yeah. That moment came for me in February. I got a raise at work. I got a raise at work. I got a couple more opportunities to make money outside of work. And I just kind of had this moment of like, I'm bringing in this much revenue, right? This much money per month. I could be affording a payment for something at this much money, which is an insane amount of money. I'm like, what can I do with that? And I'm like, I fucking hate my car. I don't like it. It's just I don't fit in it. So I started doing a little bit of car shopping. I didn't really tell anybody. Like, my girlfriend came with me, but that was about it. Like, my brother didn't know. My dad didn't know. And I was car shopping, and then I narrowed it into the Subaru Legacy. It's just like 2018 Subaru Legacy model, and it was. And I decided to do a lease. And at the same time, I was looking to see if anybody would be interested in buying my Honda. I ended up selling it to the first guy for $300 more than I paid for it.
Oh, score! Nice.
Yeah. Sold the speakers that I'd put in it after the fact for not what I bought them for, but like what they were. I got what they were worth.
Yeah, you got the value.
So it was perfect.
Nice.
It worked out really well.
Yep.
Drove the car to the guy, sold it to him, signed the deed over, get in his truck. He drives me to the dealership. I buy my car.
Yeah.
Fluid
process. Yeah.
Immediately drove it to Jackman and showed my parents. I had to be there anyway. I was going there for a week, but then I pulled into the car in a new car.
Look at the transformation.
Pulled into the driveway in a new car, right? And that was the biggest moment for me. Is like, I'm under my debt. Like, I'd finished paying off my debt to my dad for the car he bought me. Thank you so much. Like, love you. He supported me every second of my life.
You're a good guy. What's your dad's name?
Joseph.
You're a good guy, Joseph.
His name is Ray. Actually, his name kind of is Joseph, but yeah, Ray.
You're doing a great job.
Joe Ray.
You're doing a great job, Ethan's dad. Keep it up.
So yeah, it was like it was just a big moment for me. It's like I'm out for my dad's debt. I now have other debt, but it's not on my dad anymore. It's like I'm kind of out under his wing, and now it's literally everything that happens from here on is me. There's nobody connected to me. It's just if I screw it up, it's me.
It's a good feeling though.
And driving off the lot was like. And I even had a moment where I was there and I was like, well, this car that I'm looking at, it doesn't have like electronic seats. Like, there's a couple things that I'd like a little bit different, but it's all right, whatever.
The car you have now?
The car I have now, and I was like, I could do better, but I'm like, I'm not in a place for me to be bitching. I'm a 23-year-old about to buy my own car. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this. And then they told me the payment, and it was like $50 less than I got quoted originally.
Oh, wow.
From someone else.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I upgraded to the premium model.
Yeah.
And then I got all the things I wanted anyway, and I'm still less than what I was originally quoted, and I'm like, awesome.
That's an awesome experience, yeah.
So and it's not even like my monthly payment isn't that high. So I like it's very doable every single month, and it's the first moment that I felt like I came to I had an idea as an adult, I came to a decision as an adult, I executed it as an adult, and I'm continuing to live as an adult. Like, I didn't need to confide in anybody, I didn't need anybody's help. Like, I kind of did, because like my dad paid for my insurance, but I paid for the insurance. Like, the way it worked out, I didn't have the money on the spot, so he like bought my insurance for me. But then like a week later, I dropped him the full check. I was like, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
You know? And so he kind of helped me out, but it was just a logistics thing.
Exactly. No, I had the same thing. Like, when I bought my Jeep, because I wanted to buy it just outright. And so I needed like a couple $100 just to make that transaction. But like the next day I had the other $200. I was just like, this was my soul. Like, I like 100% coordinated this to make this purchase happen, and it's all on me. And when it works out, you're like, I'm gonna give myself a sticker, man. I deserve this. Yeah,
just gold star. Right in the forehead.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a good feeling.
Yeah. Cool. So do you have a moment like that?
All right. So real quick. So is that the question? Like, where you became an adult?
Yeah, like what was the biggest moment in your life where you're like, wow, I'm on my own and I'm nailing it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing really well.
I'm gonna say, so after all these like little jobs I had in Bangor, you know, like working at GameStop and I can't even remember where else I worked. I worked at like some mall shops at the mall. And
mall shops at the mall.
Yeah.
That's a whole different kind of mall shop.
Not at the CVS, yeah. Yeah, so I did like some, I can't, what would you call those? Just mall
odd
venues.
jobs?
Yeah, just odd jobs and stuff that just never really worked out. I was just kind of like...
Or just retail jobs?
I just can't get along with people, I guess. So I kind of made a vow. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna cut the BS. Like, I'm just gonna go find a job in my industry. I haven't even graduated yet. Like, I'm a junior at this point, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go find a job in my industry. And I ended up getting a hold of these people. It's called it was like Wooden Boat Magazine. So they made magazines, and they were looking to make videos. And so I wrote them an email. I was just like, you know, I'm in college right now. I could use some minimum wage. I'll make videos for you guys. And they're like, oh, that sounds great. So they hired me aboard for the summer full time, and eventually led to, you know, like part time while I was going through school.
Dude, that's friggin'
and it was great.
Cool.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience, and it was just kind of I'm sure you've had this because you're there now where you have your office, you have a desk, and you kind of settle in. And at the time, I still to this day, I was probably like the youngest person to work there. But I was just kind of settled in, and I just kind of got to work. And immediately after, somebody, one of the head guys, just pulled me in. He was like, "Hey, we're having a company meeting. Come on in. We just want to just talk and kind of plan our week." And you know, me just working with these professionals who have done this for so many years, just kind of treat me like you're on the team. Welcome aboard. Like, just have my first office, my first desk, like my first professional job. It just like. It got me like really like buzzed and excited. Like I was just like, wow. I kind of made that leap of like I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna shun people who work at McDonald's. I mean, you know, it's a good first job. But I'd done a couple of those, and I was kind of motivated to where I was just like, I feel like I don't have to do this. I'm gonna stop doing this now and just make that step to get some kind of job in my industry that's professional enough and stuff like that. And I made it happen, and it was just such a great a great feeling of just sitting in my desk wearing like, wearing like a collared shirt and a tie and stuff like that, you know, feeling professional, looking professional, and then being treated like a professional, like people who have done this thing for years coming to me and be like, so we need a video, we need your expertise, we're coming to you for assistance. And, you know, I was able to provide input and have professional conversations, and I was...
That is a big moment.
It was huge.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed that, and I've followed that road, and it's gotten me to, you know, other jobs in my industry and stuff. So it's been a good road that I've followed from that. So that was a good first moment of that, and it was a good feeling.
I definitely had that moment as well. I think mine came after that though.
Oh yeah.
So you were probably a junior.
Yep.
Yeah.
Junior.
So my moment came right when I graduated. So it was like 2 years later. As a sophomore, I said, I don't want to be working retail and all this.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
Retail's the word I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Out of my field jobs, like, I know I need to pay my dues. I know I need to do this. I understand it. I got a mall job. I worked for the school. Like, I had those jobs. And I kept them from junior year to senior year. Like, I got them. I had them for almost 2 years. Or at least the mall job. I had the school job for about a year. But the mall job I had for 2 years.
Yeah.
It was very beneficial to me because it was actually a really good job. It enabled me to have a lot of free time. And, like, my boss was wicked cool. And he would let me take time off to pursue my own passions.
That's helpful.
Which is excellent, right? It was very helpful. But it was always beneath me. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. Like, I felt like it was beneath me, but you're like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. I need to pay my dues. I need this income while I'm in school. It's good. But I said, because you feel like that, make it so when you graduate, you can get a job in your field immediately. So then I promised myself I'm going to take like every freelancing opportunity I can, and I just started working video and photo and anything that I possibly could, whether it was minimum wage or I was setting my own price. Like, I was pursuing it. Yeah. And what it did was when I got out of school, that mall job ended up, like, that store closed. So I lost the job. And you can't work at the school if you're not going to school.
Yeah.
So I lost that job.
Yep.
So and I wasn't going to school anymore. So like I just lost everything I was for 4 years.
So let me ask you this
I
real quick.
lost.
Did you have a moment of like kind of feeling exposed? Like, oh my God, like where should I like? Where's my next step going to be?
So yes, but it was so minute, and it's because so what happened is mall was closing, school was done, and the school job was done. Where the hell am I going to go now?
Yeah.
I really don't want to move back in with my parents. Start making some effort to put some stuff out there. So what I did was I just sent emails or phone calls to every person I'd freelanced for that was a larger company that I'd freelanced for the past 2-3 years. If I'd just done 1 day of work, I sent them an email. If I did 3 weeks of work, I sent them an email. And I said, I am a full-time freelancer now. I have my degree in this. If you'd like a resume, I will send it. But you've worked with me. And if you were impressed with my work ethic and my skill set, I would love the opportunity to work with you again with whatever opportunities you have. Expecting just to get more freelance work, right?
Yeah.
I think it was an hour later, a guy called me. It was like one of the first emails I sent. I didn't even get through sending all the emails. I'd only got through like 3. And this dude, the first guy called me. And he was just like, hey, I need somebody 50 hours a week for 4 weeks. Like, can you do it? And I said yes, immediately, came onto it. And then I ended up coming onto that position 20 hours a week, and then 30 hours a week, and then 40 hours a week benefits. Yeah. So it was like, and that's where I'm at now.
So yeah,
I didn't have that moment of panic. It was just like, I know what my next step needs to be, and it immediately worked out. Yeah. So it's kind of unfair that I didn't really have that struggle, but also like I really prepared ahead of time to make sure I wouldn't have the struggle. Yeah. I'm happy I didn't have it.
Yeah. See, no, that's actually like a really adult thing to do. Is that, I mean, you planned it out, you strategized, you planned ahead, and what do you know, it worked. Where there's,
I expected to come out as a full-time freelancer. Yeah. Just like running to Boston for 5 days here and then wherever 5 days here.
And I mean, you essentially, I almost say you still do that full time. I
still do that. Yeah, I definitely still do that.
Yeah.
But.
So I mean, you're doing that now, but yeah, ultimately, I mean, you're where you wanted to be, right? Like you're pretty happy with the whole situation.
I'm extremely happy with the entire situation. Yeah. When I got hired by the people I work for now, Southern Western Marketing Communications,
this episode's been sponsored by
Wicked Motor Network. Just out of nowhere. No, but I'm kidding. Entrepreneurship was always really important to me because I've had a lot of bad bosses and I've had a lot of great bosses, but I've worked for bad companies. I know there are a lot of people in this field specifically where ethicality and morality kind of go out the window, and it's just like, do it, ask questions later. Kind of this machoism versus like impervious to bad things happening. Like, I don't know. It's weird. The egos that exist in this industry kind of make me not like it sometimes. Specifically, I've worked with people from I've worked with guys from LA, Atlanta, Boston, and Toronto. Like, I've worked with these guys. And every single time I kind of feel like that's not a good dude. Just at its core, that's not a good dude that I'm working for. And the company makes weird choices, and I don't agree. So as an entrepreneur, I've always been like, it's easy to know that your boss is a good dude and is ethical and will make the right decisions morally if it's you. Yeah. Because you're going to agree with everything he does. Yeah. So I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So it's weird that the first freelancing opportunity I took that ended up offering me employment, I worked for them and I've taken it on full time. And it's because I realize there are companies out there who give a shit about their employees, who are ethical and have great morals. And
hard to find, but you found it.
And that's where I work. It's like they care about me as an employee. They care about me as a person. And it's like, it's really nice to see. And it's really nice to experience and feel. Yeah. So it's not where I expected I'd be because I always expected I'd end up on my own. But I'm really happy with my employment. Yeah. I guess this episode is like, hey, thanks, bosses. But at the end of the day, I still pursue my own stuff. But I'm really happy where I am, and I don't necessarily find a reason to change right now. I'll just pursue filmmaking on the side. And
which is actually, when you think about it, 24 and you found that already. That's hard.
I was 23 and I found it.
Yeah.
So I take a year off that. Yeah.
That's an amazing thing to.
Yeah. It's just weird that again, adulthood. It's like, when did I get here? I was building forts last week.
Yeah, exactly. It just happens in the blink of an eye. But no, and something that, I feel like people should know is that where we live, it's not an easy thing.
It is hard. There are a lot of people that I went to school with or I'm friends with that, whether or not here or across the country, aren't in their field.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer.
Yeah, it is. And it kind of ultimately comes down to just you gotta just really, really work hard and grind it out quite a bit to eventually get some kind of small break. And if you're lucky, it turns into a bigger break. But it's not easy. I mean, I don't know if this is a compliment, but I mean that story sounds really easy, but it came with a lot.
It sounds really easy.
Hard work.
Yeah, it came with a lot of hard work, and I definitely lucked into it. Luck was a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm. Luck does. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, luck is a factor. Yeah. It came at the right time. They decided they needed somebody. I was the first one to call, and I didn't call knowing that. It was luck. But there was a lot of hard work. I mean, for 4 years of school, I was just making sure that when I walked out of school, there were people that I went to school with that were just like, I'm not going to try super hard on my projects because I'm just going to pass them. Mm. Like, at the end of the day, a degree is a degree. And it's like, yeah, that's true. I personally think that if you graduated with a film degree or from our school, people aren't going to look at your GPA. They're going to look that you have the degree. And they're going to look at your references. Yeah,
I think more importantly, like you just said, references and what you've actually been to put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the one thing I was doing. I mean, I've never been a really good student, so I really wasn't focused on, I just wanted to pass. Like, I was looking for a bare minimum passing, but then my spare time was put into creating content to show off to people to get the job. And that's really what it's come down to ever since I graduated.
At the end of it.
Is to show off content that I've put hard work into. And just like, do you want what I have to offer? And that's always been yes. And there hasn't been yes, but let me see your GPA. It hasn't been that. So it's
Have you ever handed in a resume since you graduated?
No.
Yeah, why?
No. It's just I send in the work I've put in it just visually, just all my visual work, and that's always just been the thing that's paid off for me. Yeah. Obviously, there's definitely other.
If you have a business degree or you have like a financial degree, your resume is important. But and it is for us also. If if I decide to change jobs or for whatever reason, I'd probably have a situation where I need to give my resume in. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think the portfolio speaks a lot harder than
it definitely does.
What did you create? What did it look like? What did it sound like? That's kind of what's important for us.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to summarize, adulthood's a bitch. I've said that like 3 times.
Yeah. Theme. That's the theme today.
It's weird that I'm here. It's crazy that I'm here. I remember, again, building forts in the backyard. I remember going to work for my father like 2 hours a week and thinking it was a job.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school and they like, the people that worked there were like, oh, here, have all my change here. And you're like, oh, thanks. Like, I'm getting paid. Yeah. And it's like, but really, I'm just going in there and I'm sweeping the stairs and then I'm eating a slice of pizza and telling people where to find the bread.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything. But I consider that a job when I was legally able to work, like right at the start of it. And then it's just weird to think, like, I got here. And even to think when I was 18, I went to school on my own. And then at 20, I had my own apartment. And it's like...
And now you're here.
It's just weird that, like, where am I going to be next year? Like, where am I going to be when I'm 30? Am I still going to feel like a kid when I'm 30? Am I still going to feel like a kid when I'm 40? Yeah. Does my dad, who's, like, almost 60, does he still feel like he's a kid? Or has he officially accepted that he's an adult?
Yeah.
Like, when
when
do you think it? Yeah. When do you perceive it? And when does the world perceive it? I just think it's an ever debatable topic.
Yeah, that is wild. Because now that I do think about it, when you say that, I don't know if you ever catch your dad in these moments where he just kind of acts young.
And
I'm just like, yeah, that really brings it out. Huh?
Ice fishing with the boys.
Yeah. See, moments like that where you're just kind of hanging out and you're just like, where he's just like, wow, he acted like my 20-year-old self just then. That's kind of weird. Yeah. So it's just, I'm assuming you just kind of, I don't know, you just have some kind of mindset at whatever age you've perceived it in, and you just kind of float from there no matter what age. So
when you have like dementia or Alzheimer's, they say that when you revert back to yourself and you start forgetting, who you are, where you are, how old you are, you usually revert back to your teen, like your high school age,
oh, really?
High school / college age. I guess that probably speaks for something.
I must have Alzheimer's then right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be
that's constantly what I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So that probably has something to There's something that can be said there.
Yeah.
It's like you go back to the age that you want to be, probably.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, as I finish my drink, that means the conversation's basically at an end.
Yeah, I'm out.
Are you out?
Yeah, I drank it all. It was really good, by the way. That was delicious.
Yeah, last podcast I tried it. It was Pinnacle vodka and apple cider, and I
That's
just had to have it
amazing.
again this time because it's dangerous.
It is. Like, if...
You can drink that out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste like it has any alcohol in it.
No, I was, like, sipping that down like lemonade. Like, honestly, if I didn't have to get up at 6 a.m., like, I kind of want to just go over to Hannaford's right over here and just get that combination and just have that for the rest of the night. That was amazing. And I gotta say, I'm loving... Is this gonna be merch? Like, can I buy this at some point?
Maybe I should have sponsored myself.
Yeah.
So my future plan, and if people have anything to say about this, like please reach out to me on Facebook or you just comment on an Instagram post.
Because what episode is this going to be?
This is episode 10.
So do you think by episode 10 you're going to have this available?
So again, just comment. Let me know what you think because the coffee mugs were easy, right? I could buy them as one-off kind of things. It was nice and easy. The coasters I had to buy as a 20-pack in order to make it worth it. I'll sell people coasters right now if they want them. Mm-hmm. But they got to reach out to me. I don't have like a platform to do it yet.
Yeah.
I need to focus on that. I'd like to make it so coffee mugs are available for purchase. Right now I only have the 2, but it's because I just did them as one-offs because I didn't know if anybody would be interested.
Yeah, because I really want one of these. These are great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Because I'm also looking to invest in beer steins, whiskey glasses, wine glasses, and shot glasses.
I'll take the lot.
I'll take the lot.
I'm in.
I just think it'd be really cool. Like, you can grab your Boondock Perspective glass at home, drink your alcohol of preference, and just listen and drink along at home and participate in the conversation with.
Just talk to yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's so right.
Yeah. Because that's what I
am
do.
a kid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Because every night, like, I put on podcasts. You know, when you get a new one out, I'll listen to it. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of sitting there in bed, just like.
Dude, totally. That's
He's
what I
onto
do.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
if you
time.
have
with one of these, it'll be even better.
if you had any interest in any of this stuff as merch, or if we had merch that I didn't say and that you'd like to see, like let me know. And then when I'm at a place that I can do it, like I'll make it available to people to purchase. It's a piece of cake.
All right, looking forward to it.
I'll do it.
Make it happen.
Cool. We need to figure out whether or not your alcohol made you better at Indian poker.
All right. I'm feeling pretty good now, so I think we got this, no problem.
So you just got to be better than 3 losses.
Better than 3 losses. Oh, I'm gonna fucking get all 5, dude.
I just looked at all my cards.
Well,
give me these back. I opened them up like it was a poker hand.
Let's see what we got.
I was playing 5 card stud. I was like, no, that's the wrong game. That was really dumb. All right. Here we go. 5 and 5.
All right.
Ready?
I think so.
All right. Reach my eye. Higher or lower?
Lower.
You're lower?
Yep.
Smart. 1.
All right.
You just need to have 2 more right.
Higher.
Yep. 2. 1 more right. What do you got right now? You had a 4, and then you had a king, and I had a 9 and a 4. All right.
Yep. Ooh, lower.
Dude, you're better.
There we go.
Instantaneously. Yep. Let's keep going. See
Let's do it.
Which better you are. I had a 10, you had a 4.
Oh boy. Higher.
Oh.
Ooh, what does it
wrong.
time you?
I had a 9, you had a 6.
Oh, that was a 9?
Yeah.
All right.
You think it was a 6?
The alcohol really ruined me on that one. Yeah, I thought that was a 6.
Makes you more confident, but also makes you make mistakes.
Yeah. I'm gonna say lower.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there we go.
Too. Bam, Indian poker.
I feel like if I really thought that was a 6, that I would have won all 5. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit and say I won all 5.
The alcohol.
Yeah.
It has to be factored in. Sign that little card. I'll put you up on this.
All right.
Board
You guys get my signature.
Yeah. Have you seen this?
Oh, this is cool. Yeah.
Does consuming 1 stiff drink of alcohol increase your skill level when performing weirdly specific things, like Indian poker? When we don't condone the use of alcohol for the purpose of self-improvement.
You should get a different category and says definitely, because I think I'm definitely yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Cocky bastard.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was awesome. We didn't actually mention it at all in the podcast, but you were a part of the original podcast.
Yeah.
We started this together.
Exactly. And I had
It's right on the.
It was fun.
The biography of like how we started the podcast originally is on the Facebook page.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, let me. I'll find it and I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's as accurate as you recall. But do you remember how the Boondock Perspective came to be? Because I do.
I was drunk, so.
It started between three drunk friends
There we go.
fishing on a boat,
Yeah.
and quickly transformed
Oh,
into
yeah,
something
that's
we needed to be
right.
passionate about.
Yeah.
I commend you if you stuck around for the first 12 OG episodes.
Yeah. It's a lot of character build from those OG
It
episodes.
was weird. We were just talking about, like, I was like, oh, I'm getting into podcasts. And Eric was like, oh, I love podcasts. And you were like, I like podcasts.
fuck
We're
with
like,
that.
we should do a podcast. And
Yeah.
then we spent like 3 hours fishing, drinking, and trying to figure out what we call it.
Yeah. And we came up with the name, and we're like, all right, set.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah,
Too
I'm
bad
really
life had
good.
to come along, but.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It was really hard for all three of us to kind of get together. And
Yeah.
once a week was really tough when three people have three different schedules. And
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend that was just like she'd just come into my life, so it's like I really had to focus.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, and no, it's kind of it's been kind of a roller coaster, I'd say, of life. So it's kind of nice now that, I mean, I'm at this period now where things are kind of resting a little bit. So it's great to be back on it. I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, you and Eric are like both welcome on whenever you want.
Cool.
There's like there was never any hard feelings between any of us. I don't think it was just like, guys, this is killing all of us.
Yeah.
All of us are dying. And
Yeah.
we're like, yeah.
I mean,
rough.
it's really unfortunate. It almost started at like a kind of a bad time.
It kind of was.
For me, and
For all three
I
of
might
us.
be able to, because it's just, we really started like huge projects at around that time.
Yeah.
Like, Emergency Fish Party just like was launching at that time. And
I had
that,
just come on full time
exactly. Yeah. So,
and had the girlfriend, so it was like I went from tons of time to like no time.
yeah, and it's just, so it's a little stressful, and you want to do the best job you can at whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so it
especially
was-
for you, you try to
If you've seen
make everything presentable.
did you see the first episode about failure? We talked
I
about
did,
the
yeah.
podcast a
Yeah.
lot, and it was just like, how did I kind of tried to bounce back once I had the ability to do so. So I don't know. It's nice. It's just
Yeah.
nice.
It is nice.
I just feel good about it.
Yeah.
And it's not as stressful as it was when it's just you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you become a series regular and you're on here. Pretty often.
I think we can make that happen.
I think this is good conversation.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I think I will always enjoy it.
Yeah, especially
Um,
with alcohol.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to close. Remember, you can download the podcast for free on iTunes, Spotify, and Libsyn. You can also watch every episode in video form on the YouTube channel, TheMainahMen, and find clips on our podcast on the Facebook page or the Instagram. So,
All right.
deuces.